All right, so get this. You sent over this article about Perplexity AI, and wow, it's making some pretty big claims. Revolutionizing online search, a whole new way to find information.
There's definitely a lot of buzz around Perplexity right now.
And, we have to dive deep into that, especially since you're clearly interested.
Absolutely. And what makes Perplexity so interesting is that it's not just another chatbot trying to, have a conversation or write you a poem. It's designed from the ground up to be a tool for understanding information.
Right. It's not just about chatting, it's about getting you answers.
Yeah.
So walk me through this. How does Perplexity actually pull that off?
Well, imagine this. A super smart AI that can read and understand information like articles, books, you name it, even code. It's like having, I don't know, a human with access to every website and library combined.
That's a powerful image.
Right. And that's the power of what are called large language models, or LLMs for short. They're the brains behind Perplexity.
Okay, so these LLMs sound like the key ingredient here. But Perplexity isn't just using one, is it? It's like a whole team of them working together.
You got it. We're talking GPT 3.5, GPT 4. Perplexity even uses its own proprietary model, along with others like Claude 3 and Mistral Large.
Wow, so it's like having a historian, a scientist, and a programmer all working on the same research project.
That's a great analogy. Each LLM brings its own strengths to the table, which is why Perplexity is so flexible and, frankly, so accurate in its responses.
So it's getting insights from all these different angles, which is really fascinating. But here's what really caught my eye, this whole real-time aspect. It's not just using some, outdated database.
Yeah, you're right to hone in on that. That's a key distinction. When you ask Perplexity something, it's not pulling from some old textbook or a static set of information. It's searching the entire web in that moment, analyzing the most up-to-date information possible, and then here's the real kicker, summarizing it all into a clear, concise answer just for you.
Okay, that's pretty mind-blowing, but also a little unnerving if you think about it. I mean, with so much information out there, how does Perplexity determine what's actually trustworthy? It's not like everything online is accurate or reliable.
That's the million-dollar question, right? And Perplexity tackles that with a thing called PageRank. Remember how Google used PageRank to figure out which websites were the most credible?
Right, so it's like a trustworthiness score.
Kinda.
Based on how many other reputable sites link to a particular page.
Exactly. Perplexity has adopted and updated that system for the AI age, so it prioritizes information from sources that are considered reliable and authoritative based on all those signals. It's like having a built-in BS detector to help weed out the noise.
All right, so we've got this army of LLMs, real-time information gathering, and a built-in BS detector. That already sounds way more advanced than just doing, a Google search.
Oh, we're just getting started. What truly makes Perplexity special are the unique features that you simply won't find anywhere else.
Okay, spill the beans. What are these unique features that make Perplexity stand out from the crowd?
Well, let's be real. We live in a time where information is everywhere, but knowing which information to trust is more important than ever, right?
Absolutely, especially online. It's easy to get lost in a sea of opinions and conflicting information.
Exactly. And Perplexity gets that, which is why they've built in some really cool features to address that very concern.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What kind of features are we talking about? Give me the highlights.
Well, for starters, Perplexity is all about transparency. It's like, that friend who not only tells you something interesting, but then points you to the exact book and page number where they found it.
Okay, I like where this is going. So is Perplexity actually showing you its sources?
You got it. When Perplexity gives you an answer, it also provides citations and links back to the original sources. No more blind trust. You can double-check the information and see for yourself where it's coming from.
That's a game changer. Most search engines just throw information at you. But with Perplexity, it's like having a research partner who's showing their work every step of the way.
I love that analogy. It really captures the essence of what Perplexity is trying to do. And, this isn't just about text either. Remember how we talked about Perplexity being multimodal?
Right. It can handle more than just words, which is still a bit mind-boggling to me.
Right.
How does that actually work in practice?
Okay, so let's say you're researching, a historical event. You've got articles, sure, but you might also come across a photograph, a detailed PDF report, or even a documentary on YouTube. Well, with Perplexity, you can actually upload these directly.
Hold on. I can ask Perplexity to analyze a YouTube video for me.
You got it. It's not limited to just text-based websites. It can pull information from images, videos, documents, all sorts of media. That's the power of being multimodal.
Wow.
That's next level stuff. I can already see how useful that would be for research, content creation, really anything where you need to gather insights from different sources. Right. And it's only getting more sophisticated. It's like having a research assistant that can summarize a whole documentary or analyze a complex image for you in seconds.
Speaking of research assistants, there's another feature you mentioned, Copilot. What's that all about?
Ah, yes. Copilot. Think of this as your AI research partner. They're to help you refine your search and get those laser-focused results.
Okay, I'm listening.
So let's say you have a really complicated question, something that needs more than a simple answer. Copilot will step in and might ask you clarifying questions or suggest related topics to make sure it understands exactly what you're looking for.
So it's like having a back and forth with Perplexity, kind of guiding it to the information I need.
Precisely. It's all about getting you the most relevant and useful information possible. No more sifting through pages of irrelevant search results.
This is amazing. It's like having a personal librarian who can guide you through the stacks and point you to the hidden gems.
I like that. And here's something else that's really cool, especially for someone like you who likes to tinker and really understand how these things work. With the Pro version of Perplexity, you can actually choose which LLM you want to use for a specific task.
Whoa, wait a minute. I can tell Perplexity, hey, use this element for this and that one for that.
Exactly. Let's say you want the creative flair of GPT-4 or the factual accuracy of Claude 3. You have that level of control.
Okay, Perplexity is starting to sound less like a simple search engine and more like a personalized research platform. It's like having a whole team of AI experts at your fingertips. Okay, so we've peeked under the hood of Perplexity AI, and it's got a lot going for it. But it's time for the ultimate test. How does it actually stack up against the big dogs in the search world?
That's the exciting part. It's not really trying to be a one-size-fits-all solution, you know?
Yeah.
It knows its strengths and it plays to them.
So it's like choosing the right tool for the job. Sometimes you need a hammer, sometimes you need a scalpel. Let's start with the obvious. How does Perplexity compare to Google Search? That's like the classic David and Goliath matchup, right?
Yeah, you could definitely say that. Look, I think Google Search is still the champ when it comes to those quick, straightforward answers. Like, if you need to know what's the nearest coffee shop or get the latest sports scores, Google's got you covered.
Right. For those quick hits, it's hard to beat.
Exactly. But when you're looking for something more, like real depth and context, or trying to understand the why behind the what, that's where Perplexity really shines.
And we can't forget about the whole ads thing, right? With Perplexity, you get a totally clean, ad-free experience. No more dodging those sponsored results or getting lost in a maze of banner ads.
Totally. It's refreshing, really. It's all about getting you the information presented clearly and directly without any distractions.
It's a breath of fresh air. But Perplexity isn't just going up against traditional search engines, is it? It's also in the ring with other AI heavyweights, like ChatGPT.
Oh, absolutely. That's a battle for the ages, right? It's interesting, though, because they both have different strengths.
Yeah, how do those two even compare?
Well, if we're talking about real-time knowledge, Perplexity definitely has the edge. That whole web indexing thing we talked about means it's always up to date, always learning.
Right, it's got its finger on the pulse.
Exactly. While ChatGPT is amazing for creative writing and brainstorming, it does rely on a fixed data set. That means it might not always have the latest information, especially when it comes to breaking news or rapidly evolving situations.
So Perplexity for staying informed, ChatGPT for flexing those creative muscles.
That's a good way to put it. And then, of course, you've got other players emerging, like Google's Gemini. It's still early days, but it's showing a lot of promise, especially when it comes to complex reasoning. But, you know, Perplexity's multimodal approach gives it that adaptability and a wider range of expertise, which is super valuable.
It's like a battle royale of AI intellect out there. But let's be real for a second. No technology is perfect, right?
What are some of the limitations we should be aware of when it comes to Perplexity?
You're absolutely right. It's important to be mindful of the limitations. First and foremost, while Perplexity strives for accuracy, you should always double-check critical information, especially when it comes to things like medical or financial advice, right? It's a powerful tool, but it's not a replacement for expert consultation.
So it's about using it responsibly and not just blindly trusting the machine. It's a tool to enhance our understanding, not replace it. 100%. Perplexity is this amazing tool for exploration and learning. It can open doors to new information and perspectives, but ultimately it's up to us as humans to critically evaluate that information and form our own conclusions.
It's about that human element, that critical thinking. And also, like we were saying earlier, about using AI ethically and responsibly. It's not about letting AI think for us, but rather helping us think better.
100%.
Well said. So for our listener who has been on this journey with us, what's the biggest takeaway here?
I think the biggest takeaway is that Perplexity AI is more than just a search engine. It's a glimpse into the future of how we engage with information. It's a powerful tool with so much potential, and we're just scratching the surface.
It's a call to embrace curiosity, to explore new ways of learning and understanding the world around us.
Exactly.
It's about constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Hmm.
That's what Perplexity represents. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the fascinating world of Perplexity AI. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep that curiosity alive.